I want to tell you a story about two eagles who once soared together across the vast skies. They hunted together, built a nest on the cliffs where the ocean whispered to the heavens. Each evening, they would sit quietly, watching the sun dip into the sea. Like a couple so used to each other's presence, no words were needed anymore. But sometimes the distance between two souls doesn't come from miles apart. It comes from the silence that settles between them. They were still close, still doing the same things, but inside, they were drifting. And that quiet space, that unspoken gap, was what hurt the most. Then, one day, she began to fly farther, longer journeys, later returns. Sometimes she didn't return at all. He still waited, still watched the sky where she disappeared, and said nothing. Not because he had no questions, but because he feared the answers. Why do you fly so far? Are you flying away from me? But instead of asking, he just looked at the horizon and kept the questions buried. One early morning, as dawn kissed the sky, she returned. Tired, distant. They sat beside each other in silence. Then, softly, she asked, "If one day I flew away, would you come find me?" He didn't answer right away, just stared into the sea and replied, "If you truly wanted me to, you wouldn't need to ask." The next morning, while she still slept, he took off, not to leave, but to prove that love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it only needs the courage to move. He flew for 3 days. From cliff to cliff, across coastlines, through the salt-heavy winds, calling her name. Not with sound, but with every aching circle he carved into the sky. And finally, on a distant cliff, he saw her, sitting beside another eagle, not touching, not close, but not far either. She looked up, eyes wide in shock. But he didn't move, didn't speak. He just stood there for a long, quiet moment. And then he turned away. She called out, but her voice came too late for his heart. He flew off, not angry, not bitter. He had simply understood. Not everyone we love is still waiting for us to return. A few days later, she returned to their old nest. But he was gone. Only a small seashell lay in the center, and inside it, a feather. Not his, but hers. The first one she lost when they built their nest together. He had kept it all this time. No note, no words, just a silent message. I waited, I searched, I loved, but you never truly told me how you felt. Dear friend, not all broken hearts are caused by betrayal. Sometimes, it's the silence that hurts most. So if you're in love, if you're holding back, if your heart is full, speak, even if your voice shakes, even if the words are messy, because those who truly care aren't asking for perfection. They just want to feel that they matter before they become someone you can no longer speak to again.
If this story stirred something in you, share what you once wished you had said, but didn't.
And if you'd like more stories that remind you to feel, to speak, to live honestly, like, share, and subscribe. Because you never know, this story may reach someone who needed it more than you can imagine.